So you've decided that 2019 is your year to start charting, but you're a little bit overwhelmed by the huge amount of apps that are out there. Well, not to worry, I have tested loads of them already for you, and I'm giving you my top picks. Hello lovelies, and welcome to another one of my videos in which I'm going to help you find the right fertility tracking app for you for the coming year. All the apps that I'm talking about are well-known apps and are well-loved in the fertility communities. However, they're all quite different, and although some of them might be my personal favorite, they might not be right for you. And that's why I'm sharing all of these, and I am sharing their special features, what I love about these specifically, and I will say to you why a certain app might be appropriate for you. All right, fertility app number one is Fertility Friend. This is a really well-known app, and for good reasons. What I love about this app is that you can enter so many details, so many symptoms. And what is ideal about that, in my opinion, is that you can discover your own fertile pattern. Because yes, cervical mucus and temperature and ovulation tests are really important. However, everybody has a different pattern. Maybe you develop migraines before your period and you're not actually aware that it is a progesterone thing. Or maybe you are getting migraines earlier in the cycle, which I get with some of my patients, and it's actually estrogen related. Or you get PMS in the middle of your cycle and you always thought it was premenstrual. So I find that really useful that you can enter that in. And not only that, Fertility Friend has been around, let me check, a long time, since 1998. So that is more than 20 years now. So they have tested their stuff so much, and women have tested their app so much, and they have this huge database of all these symptoms and all these charts that have been analyzed. So they have these analyzing tools that you can apply to your chart. You can do a chart overlay to compare your chart with the previous chart. You can compare your charts with other women that have similar charts. So I think it is a great app. So pretty much everything on the app is free. You can use it without having to pay for it. However, if you want to make use of their analyzing tools, I think I've got a list here. Yes, cycle interpretation. So it tells you exactly when Fertility Friend thinks you ovulated, or how long your luteal phase is, if your temps are accurate. There's a pregnancy monitor, which gives you an idea of how big the chances that you might be pregnant. There is a pregnancy signs analyzer. There's the chart overlay, so that is on the paid version that you can, and comparing your charts. It might be something that you want to get temporarily or that you want to get for a year, because the VIP membership is 49 euros. So I have to put in how much that is in dollars. Or 11 euros per month if you want to do it on a monthly basis. So when is this tracking app for you? If you love to understand your fertility, if you want to learn more about your own charts, and if you don't mind entering in loads of information, if you don't find that overwhelming, you can use the app without entering all of the information, but I believe that this is actually the cool feature about the app. So if you want to go all in and you like tracking, then this is definitely an app for you. The second app is Glow, and for an app that allows you to enter a lot of information, they have done a great job at organizing that, because if you have to go through lists of symptoms, that can be pretty overwhelming, but they categorize it in such a great way, and it's really easy and kind of fun to enter your symptoms and your fertility signs. They also link you to some blogs, and I think their blog is absolutely hilarious. I will link in the description below something about the 2-week wait, which I thought was so funny. It actually made me laugh out loud. I also love that you can take a picture of your ovulation test. I reviewed the Wink and the thermometer a while back, and Thermometer had this on their app, and when I was reviewing it then, it didn't work. I didn't think it was working, but I heard that they updated it, so on Thermometer, the app, it is now working as well, the ovulation test strip, but Glow has it, and I think it's great. So there's the free version of Glow that you can use, and then you have the premium version, and the premium version has premium articles that you can read. They have a couple of premium features, from charts to help your fertility journey to guided meditations, and they have premium offers that are exclusive to users, and they offer comparative insights, so you can compare your charts There's profile customization and you get premium support, and that costs either $8 a month or $48 per year. I don't know why I just talked about euros and now I talk about dollars, but I'll just convert it. But you can also purchase a lifetime membership for $60, and that gives you access to all the Glow apps. And that's what I really love, because when you use the Glow fertility tracking app, you can then, if you fall pregnant, move on to the, is it Nurture? Editing Flare, please enter what I mean. I don't need Editing Flare. I've got internet on my phone. It's called Nurture app. And then after that, you have the baby app. So when baby's there, for example, if you're nursing, that you can time that, all that kind of jazz. This app is for you if you like to have an app that does not just allow you to track, but also offers you a lot of insight into your fertility and links you to articles and community. And also, perhaps if you're a beginner and you want to chart a lot of symptoms, but you don't really want to interpret your chart too much, just want to know when you're fertile or when not, I would say this app is maybe not for you if you're trying not to obsess over falling pregnant, because there's so much information going on all the time. You're constantly triggered to analyze your chart, and that's kind of the same with Fertility Friend if you have the premium version with them, the VIP membership. So all these analyzing tools are so cool, but they make it a little bit harder not to overanalyze your charts and not obsess. All right, and then we have Kindara, which I'm pretty sure you will have heard me talk about if you have watched any of my videos or any of my charting blogs. I love to use Kindara because I love to use the Kindara Wink, which I will link in the video that I compared Wink and thermometer. They're both thermometers that sync automatically with your phone through Bluetooth, which I think is ideal. There are lots of other features that I love about Wink as well. So that's why I like to use Kindara. And sometimes I will use Fertility Friend as well because the charts look a little bit different. But Kindara is definitely my go-to. And what I love about Kundera is that it's just really simple. I love that my patients who just start out with charting, they can see their chart properly and they can connect with their fertility in that way, and they learn to interpret their chart, but it's not too overwhelming because it doesn't ask you loads of symptoms. It just looks at the basic fertility signs, and if you want to track more symptoms, you can totally do that. You can create custom checkboxes, and that is then on their premium, which is $5 a month or $50 a year. But the first month and a half is for free if you want to test it out, and you get a free year membership with your Wink. However, you definitely don't need the paid version if you are starting out with charting, because all the important stuff you can track on the free one. I really love the way that they have made visual your fertility in the cervical mucus way. Either you're going to see a mountain of fertility so that you're less fertile at the beginning and at the end you're more fertile at the top, at the middle, or you see it the other way around, that you have a fertile valley, and you can enter in if you have a lot of a certain type of cervical mucus or medium or less. So it shows you more about how fertile you really are, and I find that really useful, especially with my patients, because sometimes women come to me without any cervical mucus or just a little bit, and I can see the progression over their charts rather than, oh, I had cervical mucus then or then or then and then. It makes a difference if you have a lot of egg white cervical mucus, for example, or just a little bit. Another feature that's great about Kindara is that you can share your charts with your practitioner. So my patients do that with me as well. So I can go into the practitioner portal and I've got my whole gallery of my patient charts, and that's what I often go through in the morning when I start to work. Where's everybody at? Anybody pregnant? Anybody ready to catch that egg? So when is this app for you? Well, I think it's great if you're just dipping your toe into charting, you're just starting out. I think it's fantastic if you just want a very clear and easy tracking app that doesn't ask you too much stuff but gets the job done. It's great if you have a practitioner that you want to share it with, and obviously if you use Wink, if you want to have a thermometer that is syncing with your phone, then this is the app that you need. On to Natural Cycles, and this is a really interesting app because this is the only app that is certified to be used as birth control. So they have done a lot of work in making sure that it works perfectly and that it can help you prevent pregnancy. Now, you want to have a baby, But if you have an app that is really accurate with being able to prevent pregnancy for you, then it can also tell you when you're fertile, right? And when your chances are best of falling pregnant. So this app has actually been clinically tested and has a 99.5 accuracy rate. So I think that's a pretty big deal. I think that's also the reason why you can download it for free. And as you can see on the screen, I wasn't able to enter a lot of information because my subscription had ended. So you will need the paid version to actually use it properly. And that paid version is 65 euros per year. And that includes a thermometer, or 9 euros a month. What I also like about this app is, like with Glow, you can also track your pregnancy with the app, but it's actually the same app. This app is for you if you just want to enter a couple of details, not really look at the chart or analyze it, and would like to be told, are you fertile or are you not fertile? It's a great app if you are trying to prevent falling pregnant, but you don't want to use any other types of contraceptives, especially hormonal contraceptives. And it is a great app if you also want to track your pregnancy once you have fallen pregnant. I would say this app is not for you if you don't want to pay for anything, if you would like to have a free version that works. And it's probably not your app either if you do want to look at your chart properly, that's easily accessible and that you want to interpret yourself. And then of course we have Ovia. And Ovia, oh my gosh, what a cute app is that. I love how it shows you on the home screen how big the chances that you are fertile. It gives you a fertile score and where you are in your cycle. And then if you want to renew the page, it's got this little sperm thingy swimming towards the sun. I think it's really adorable. And it really allows you to fill in lots of information as well. And kind of like with Glow, it also gives you lots of other information like fertility tips on the home screen, and it links you to articles, and there's a whole community around it too. I couldn't really calculate when my next period would be or when my fertile window opened in this app, as you can see, but I think that's because I tested it a really long time ago, and for this video I only entered data for 2 cycles, so that might be the reason. A very practical thing when it comes to cervical mucus is that Ovia only has 3 options. I think it's school glue, watery, and egg white then, which is kind of practical for some women because it can be hard to distinguish between the sticky and the creamy type. Although I have a blog post on that, so I'll make sure to link that in the description below. But that's kind of practical with Ovia that you don't need to worry about that bit. Ovia also has a follow-up app for when you fall pregnant called Ovia Pregnancy, which is just as cute. I would say this app is for you if you like to have an app that's beautiful and that prompts you to fill in information. I think it's also a great app if for 2019 you are not just wanting to track your cycle, but maybe you also want to track some other goals that you have. It's also a great app for you if you're not really that interested in looking at your chart properly and interpreting things from your chart, if you basically just want to be told if you're fertile or not fertile. I'd say this app is probably not for you if, again, you just want to fill in a couple of basic details, or if you want to analyze your chart quite specifically. And like with Fertility Friend and with Glow, if you are a little bit concerned about over focusing on getting pregnant, then this is probably not the right app for you either, because it's easy to go crazy and get a little bit obsessed. So there you go, the 5 best apps for you to start charting in 2019. Let me know in the comments, which one are you going to start with, or are you going to try a couple, or have you already picked one? And if you're just dipping your toes into charting, then I recommend that you sign up to my free Basics to Fertility Charting course that tells you exactly in just a few lessons what you need to do, what tools you need, how to interpret your charts. And if you want to learn more about charting, then definitely click on the playlist on your screen right now. And if you would like more fertility boosting and charting videos in the future, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so that you get the notification every Thursday when I upload new content. And in the meantime, see you in the next video. Bye!